We will start the project by removing the trim pieces, a couple screws in back here, and one here. Okay. And then on the inside there is also a screw here. And then this panel can come off. There's a push pin there. And comes off. And on this other side here, on the outside, this piece has a screw here that already broke, unfortunately. So I'll try and remove this. Over center clip on top. And unfortunately, all this stuff is just so flimsy and old that it is very unhappy. So that could be a problem. And here's the screw. That should have come out. Okay. So now that we have the screws out, I can move this back slightly, and there are 4 10mm screws that hold the seat to the base, whether you have a swivel or not. Pull those out. And then the same thing in the back. Underneath. So now that that is off, the seat base here should pretty much be free to do what we need. The only caveat being the sensor light set up here that we need to disconnect. And then we need to remove. always made easier with the right tool. Once that's done, this whole thing can come off. And this is what you're left with, at least with a swivel base setup. Okay, now we're on the bench. Got the old seat here, standard checking from 20 years of use. We got the new cover here from Richmond, obviously brand new, looks good. It's got a nice French stitch around the outside here. It's got all the proper inside padding and everything. Of course, these are just like the factory. These are going to be leather on the top seating surface, vinyl on the side surface. It's got all the clips in the right spot here. So, easiest way to start with this whole thing, the factory cover, turn it around and just simply unclip the sides. Obviously being careful, the metal is sharp. These ones over here are, they can be a little tougher because they are over center. So we can grab some sort of a tool to help us. Roll them up and over. Same thing over here. And same on the front. Then, just like everything else, just pull off the cover, making sure that we don't damage the foam. This does have Velcro here in the middle. Don't just pull. You need to hold down the male side because it will rip out of the Velcro, out of the foam, and then you're in big trouble. So once that's off, we can see the original cover's actually not in too bad shape for 20 years old. Very slight delamination of the foam, totally normal. But yeah, that's that. So we will prep it. Make sure the springs are covered as they should be. Obviously, this is a good time to replace the foam if it's not in good shape. So I'm going to line up the Velcro first as a reference, and then we pull the cover around. Obviously making sure it's hitting all the right spots there. Right, and then, just like the other cover, these clip on. So, let's start in the front. Roll around and clip on. And then we'll start moving rearwards with a good tug to keep it tight. And that one will clip on. And you can start to get a feel. This will obviously become much more happy with a little bit of heat and use. It takes about a week for the wrinkles to pull out. And these front ones here, the clip is longer than this piece, so we'll bend this little tab out slightly, make it flush. And then these simply roll around the same way. That is more or less the finished idea, right? So and add a little bit of heat to it to try and pull the wrinkles out. Obviously, keep in mind anytime heat's added, if it's too hot for your hand, it's too hot for the leather. So that's a good rule of thumb, at least, to work with. So. Just a little tiny bit of use and that'll be perfectly smooth. Alright, we'll get it back in the car. Alright, back in the car. I put the trim panels back on. I don't believe those actually need to come off, so I recommend don't take them off. Obviously you do have to be careful of the wire here. I connected that back in. Probably doesn't need to be disconnected, although this is going to be different with the factory base. So we can get the seat put back in here. Just simply slide back into position. And we'll start on the rear bolts first. Maybe the front ones are easier to get first. Let's try the front ones first. not going to tighten them until they are aligned properly. And once all four are in, get them snugged up. And that is the seat upholstery completed. So you can see how nice that looks, and eventually we'll get to the rest, but just one piece at a time. So we did the driver's seat over there last week. We'll do this one, and we'll move on to these here at some point in the future. Nothing's really wrong with them, but the leather gets old and shiny and a little bit hard to maintain. So out with the old and in with the new. Get it good.